Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I would like to talk about really important topic in photography. Today's topic is bokeh. So it is the aesthetic blur of the out of focus areas in your photography. When you invest in a really good lens, it makes such a big difference in the quality of your photos. But you could also get that effect nowadays in Lightroom or in Photoshop. I actually practiced with my 2 photos recently, and I feel like I got a really nice bokeh when I was working in Lightroom Classic. These 2 photos are just average to my taste. I am not very proud of these photos, but I did some post-production work and I think I ended up really good photo. This is the result of the AI in technology. So it's becoming more and more powerful, and I think it's a good idea if you know how to work with AI. A lot of things are becoming really easy. I'm going to share my screen right now and I'm going to show you how I worked on these 2 photos from scratch. This is the photo that I was talking about, and I have another photo. So the first thing I would like to adjust is Adobe Color to Adobe Portrait and the daylight situations for white balance. What I want to do first, I want to bring down the highlights and I want to bring down shadows as well, and bring up the blacks a little bit, not too much. We have a lot of light on the right side of the image and it's not aesthetically pleasing, but I just want to show you guys how I work on it. So let's go ahead and bring down the exposure. Okay, this makes such a big difference. So this is before and this is after. Let's move on. I always like the texture in the images, so this is gonna help me with my clarity. And I can also bring up the dehaze tool a little bit. I want to quickly move on to tone curve. For tone curve, I want to bring down the highlights again. As you can see, if I bring down the highlights, our diagram for exposure is changing, right? So I still want to get some contrast in the image, so I just want to adjust it a little bit. Okay, so for my liking, it's good so far. Next level is going to be color grading. I'm not gonna play with it right now. I'm just gonna come back later if I want to. So I'm gonna bring up the sharpening. I like sharp images, so let's bring up the masking, also fix the chromatic aberrations. So what I wanted to show you guys, if you come here to the bottom of your tool section in Lightroom Classic, you could also use lens blur. This is AI tool and I feel like it does a pretty good job. Even if like 50 millimeter, even if I was shooting with the widest aperture, I could see the texture. I could still see the texture of these trees right here in Central Park. So I just want to do some blurriness to the image. So what you can do is, there are some other shapes right here. If you pay attention, I'm just gonna hit apply button here and the system does it automatically. As you can see, this is before and this is after, so you can see much more texture in the original image. Now we have the blurriness right here, so I like the effect of it. But if you move the focal range, you can see it's doing the opposite. You could also adjust the blur amount here. So if you bring it up, it's becoming much more blurry, and if you bring down, you could see the texture again. I like 70%. The photograph is already looking much more aesthetic in my opinion compared to the original one. And we have the subject riding a bicycle right here, so I just want to get rid of this person. So let's use the remove tool. So I feel like it did a pretty good job. So background and foreground separation is really pretty. If you don't like the amount of the blurriness in the photo, you could always bring it down. So but I like it, so I'm just gonna to keep it like that. I like cropping the images, so I'm gonna just like adjust the image a little bit because we have a lot of empty space around here. So I don't like this space, so I'm gonna move on. When I'm cropping, I just want to be careful with the shadow of the subject. I like seeing photos in black and white. Let's go ahead and see it. Okay, as you can see, you could always like change the temperature in black and white, and I feel like this image is looking pretty nice so far. So I'm gonna bring down the temperature this time. A lot of like black and white images, they have specific like undertone. This doesn't have an undertone right now. You could also change it. I'm gonna show you guys where we can do that. So if you come back to tone curve, we have these colors right here. If you want to you know, do something to your image, like, you know, change the temperature, like if you want to give some kind of vibe to it, you could always play with it. As you can see, if I bring it up, so it has a little bit undertone red color, so it's pretty cool. And this image looks like from 90s or something right now. This is before and this is after. This is amazing. There's so much you can do with the help of technology, right? So even if your photo is not perfect, you could always end up with a nice photo. And let's think about this photo. So if you pay attention to the exposure settings, I have the same ISO 100, 50 millimeter. I'm still using 50 millimeter. My aperture is the widest, but my shutter speed is much faster here. That's why we have like much more correct exposure in this photo. Go back to your image and right click it. You can set it as a reference photo as well. What I usually do is I press Command C. So what it does is it copies all the adjustments you have done for the photo. This photo has correct exposure settings. That's why compared to this photo, the first photo, I feel like what you can do is you could also change, even if you copied all the settings from the first image, you could always like do some more adjustments. Because the photo was a little bit different lighting situations, I'm just gonna bring up the exposure settings here. So what I would like to do right now, I'm just gonna bring up the temperature a little bit. The settings did not copy lens blur. Let's go ahead and apply blurriness. Okay, as you can see, if you want to look at it, we have like less texture in the background right now, and our dog is isolated from the background. If you would like to compare and adjust more amount of blurriness in the photo, you could always do that. And this is pretty cool image right now. So I don't like this dot right here. We can just get rid of this. I like the dog very much right now. I like the harsh lighting situations. It's a backlit photo. As you can see, we have a blur lens flare from the image, but I want to work on this part of the image. Let's work on the ball. So what I would like to do, I would like to create another mask, but this time I'm going to use the brush. So you can adjust the brush size as well. So what I'm going to do is just like select the ball. There are a lot of ways you could do this, and because the ball is in the shadow, it's blending out, you know. Just want to bring it up a little bit and highlights. Let's bring up the shadows for the ball, and we can see some details right now. This is the comparison, just to, you know, make sure these images are kind of like close in tone to each other. So we can also like go back and look at before and after. This is before and after for this second image, and this is before and after for the first image. All right, everyone, this is it for today. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I have a lot of projects are coming on, and I'm really excited to share my experience with you guys. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section, and I'm always happy to answer your questions. Keep taking good photos. Bye.